You are now in time for Captured with Michelle Mackey, but first, just want to show you what's happening across the country. We do have that thunderstorm risk continuing throughout the overnight hours. Parts of Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary included. Strong winds, the main risk here. Also into southern Manitoba, also into northwestern Ontario. The bulk of the rainfall, the heaviest rain, actually falling north near Thompson. That's the center of that low. Into your Sunday, further south into northwestern Ontario as well. Also into the foothills, northwestern Ontario, widespread thunderstorm risk throughout the evening. You're just in time for Captured with Michelle Mackey, but first we just want to show you what is happening across the country. We do have that thunderstorm risk for many into the prairies, Calgary, Edmonton included. Red Deer, strong winds are the main risk into southern sections of Manitoba as well. As we approach your Sunday, becomes a little bit more refined into southern sections, also into parts of Saskatchewan, the foothills included in that. Throughout your evening and overnight hours, northwestern Ontario already seeing those thunderstorms popping up. That risk continues overnight. Shifts further south, though, throughout your Saturday. Well, I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Shannon Bradbury here with you at the Weather Network. Glad you could make us a part of your weekend. Taking a look at that satellite and radar, we are seeing those spotty showers pop up across northern sections of the province of Ontario, also into parts of Quebec. But notice stateside, that severe weather, that is unfortunately on its way to Ontario, which we'll break down in a second. But we're talking snow yet again across parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Can't catch a break. Temperatures even into your next week, you'll notice in your 7-day forecast, below seasonal. Seasonal for St. John's, for instance, is about 13 degrees, and your highest temperature next week, about 9 degrees. So we continue to be below seasonal and even close to the freezing mark for some of those days. As you can tell, snow does linger throughout parts of Labrador. That's going to continue throughout to ease throughout your overnight hours, so good news there. But some areas have already picked up 10 centimeters of snow. We're talking an additional 5 centimeters max for those harder hit regions. Happy Valley, Goose Bay. So, of course, that main route from Cartwright down to Mary's Harbor, something to keep in mind that there's going to be snow on the ground. Areas into the northern peninsula, trace amounts of snow there. As we play this out, areas further to the north, that risk for thunderstorms is there throughout your evening hours. As we play this through, essentially we do have this trough sinking down, and that's going to combine, or rather converge, with this low, and we're talking widespread rain filling into those southern sections. Also, the wind's going to be a factor. Areas further north toward Timmins seeing the heaviest amount of rain, but nonetheless it is widespread, and in some cases we've already exceeded the seasonal average rainfall for May. This is a look at that thunderstorm risk that continues throughout your overnight hours. As we approach your Sunday, sinks further to the south, widespread north to Parry Sound, Algonquin areas, so small sized hail, possibly severe as we head to southwestern Ontario, something we will continue to watch. But before we head to the west, where they've been dealing with absolutely gorgeous temperatures, here's some ideas how you can spend your weekend. All right, thank you. There you go. Some great ideas, because this ridge is really keeping things warm across the west, but there is that thunderstorm risk throughout the overnight hours. Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, of course, into the eastern prairies as well. Winnipeg, Dauphin areas, even Brandon as well. Throughout your Sunday, northwestern Ontario, the thunderstorm risk continues into the south, really southern sections of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, as well as into the foothills. So that's your thunderstorm risk throughout your Sunday. All right, coming. Well, if you are throughout southern Ontario, I hope you took advantage of the sunny breaks throughout your Saturday, because come Sunday, we're talking widespread rainfall. Areas further to the north of Ontario already seeing that rain fill in throughout your Saturday. Also, the risk for thunderstorms. We've seen thunderstorms popping up in northwestern Ontario. This is a look, though, Sunday through Monday. So it is yet again widespread rainfall. Timmins area seeing the bulk of that rain, 30 millimeters of rain. But areas further to the south, 15 millimeters of rain. So we're already close to doubling the seasonal average for rainfall throughout May for some of these areas further to the south. So with this rain, we could come close to doubling that amount. The thunderstorm risk is there, isolated severe towards southwestern Ontario, something we will continue to let you know about, update you on if that becomes a risk. Small sized hail, strong winds as well, heavy rainfall in those thunderstorms. Throughout your evening and overnight, that risk continues for you further to the north. I'm sure you've already seen some thunderstorms thunderstorms popping up and passing by into the southeastern prairies as well. The thunderstorm risk is there. We'll head to Atlantic Canada in a second, but first, here's Nathan Coleman with a feature. All right, thank you, Nathan, for that report. Wanted to show you what's happening. Areas further to the north, Labrador, already seen some areas, 10 centimeters of snow yet again. Can't get a break. Those temperatures, of course, below seasonal. It's all due to this boundary. Meanwhile, as you can tell, the Maritimes are staying nice and dry into your Sunday as well. Expect a dry day late Sunday into your Mondays when some regions, especially into New Brunswick, can see some spotty showers. Into Newfoundland as well, northern peninsula sections expect trace amounts of snow, so mixing at times for you in Gander. But as you can tell there, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, 15 centimeters of snow through Sunday. So some regions looking at an additional 5 centimeters of snow on top of what's already fallen, of course. Across the eastern prairies, we are dealing with the rainfall that continues through your Sunday. The winds will start to ease. Areas further north, that low is situated essentially right over Thompson, so we're talking 30 millimeters of rain. Also, that thunderstorm risk is there as well. Well, if you are throughout Ontario, or southern Ontario at least, I hope you enjoyed the sunshine throughout your Saturday. A really late afternoon, we got into some sunnier breaks. It was pretty overcast, but at least it wasn't raining. We do have rain on the way, really widespread. Essentially, this low from the U.S. is going to essentially converge with the low that's bringing rainfall to northwestern Ontario into the southeastern prairies. So we're getting heavy rain at times, really throughout your Sunday, lingering into your Monday, spreading further to the east into southern Quebec for your Monday morning commute. Montreal, view, that's where we'll see that rainfall. 10 to 15 millimeters of rain expected. GTA areas in southern Ontario, further north toward Timmins, 30 millimeters of rain there. Also with this is that thunderstorm risk, potentially severe towards southwestern Ontario, something we will continue to watch. Heavy rainfall, strong winds, and small-sized hail a concern. So, of course, we're already dealing with those water levels in Lake Ontario significantly above what they should be. So this rain's not going to do any good. Lingering showers and that thunderstorm risk will continue for those into the southeastern prairies as well as into northwestern Ontario. The foothills also becomes into this risk zone throughout your Sunday. Meanwhile, though, the temperatures across the west, absolutely gorgeous. This ridge really has been keeping things warm into your Sunday. Expect temperatures into the low 30s again. All right, Arthritis Walk is just around the corner. Here's Emily. Well, I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Shannon Bradbury here with you at the Weather Network. We do have more rain on the way for Ontario. Areas further north are already seeing that rainfall into the southeastern prairies as well. Also thunderstorms with this too. Areas seeing the most amount of rain throughout your Sunday into Monday. Areas further north like Timmins, Chapleau, Wawa, 30 millimeters of rain expected there. Areas further south expect 15 millimeters of rain. And then east into eastern Ontario, southern Quebec, could be 20 millimeters of rain. Of course, we're already dealing with those water levels significantly high. The thunderstorm risk plays in as well. So heavy rain at times a factor, strong winds, even small-sized hail. Note, though, southwestern Ontario, the risk for isolated severe thunderstorms is there. So definitely stay tuned because we'll let you know if that becomes an issue throughout your Sunday. This is a look throughout the evening hours into your overnight. Northwestern Ontario, seeing those thunderstorms pop up, that is a risk. Also, if you are outside, when we're dealing with that rain, that moisture, the mosquitoes. Take a look at this feature. All right, thank you, Mark, for that report. A look at the mosquito control system as we head to Atlantic Canada. Labrador still seeing snowfall yet again. Some regions have picked up 5-10 centimeters of snow. We're talking additional maybe 5 centimeters of snow throughout your overnight hours into your Sunday. This boundaries what's bringing that snowfall to you further north because most of the Maritimes and even Newfoundland, a nice sunny weekend, a bit below seasonal, but at least the sun is shining. This is how much snow we're talking. Areas into the northern peninsula trace to 2 centimeters of snow through your Sunday. Areas like Happy Valley, Goose Bay, seeing 15 centimeters of snow. So if you are heading into that main route, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, north to Cartwright or south to Mary's Harbor, something to keep in mind that the snow may be flying. Also, we're dealing with those strong winds as well. As we take a look at the rain throughout the prairies, it's really the southeastern prairies or the eastern prairies. Areas further north seeing a heavy amounts of rain, 30 millimeters of rain there. Also into northwestern Ontario. Through your Sunday, unfortunately, that will linger again. Throughout the evening overnight hours, this is a look at that thunderstorm threat zone. Strong winds, the main concern. Edmonton, Calgary, Medicine Hat, expect that. But much of Saskatchewan staying in the clear. Throughout your Sunday, the foothills come into the picture. All right, coming up next, Now, I hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. Glad you could make us a part of it. Shannon Bradbury here with you at the Weather Network. As you can tell, a bit unorganized as we look at central and eastern parts of the country, but the bulk of that rainfall stateside, it is on its way to Ontario. We will break that down in a second, but let's talk snow. We're still seeing snowfall into northern parts of Newfoundland as well as into Labrador. Essentially, this boundary is causing that. It will ease throughout the overnight hours. So essentially the heaviest amount of snow is over and done with, but we are looking at max 5 centimeters of snow on top of what's already fallen, which is in some cases about 10 centimeters of snow. So that main route, something to keep in mind. Also into the northern peninsula, looking at trace to 2 centimeters of snow. Gander, expect the possibility to see some snow showers or mixing at times. As we take a look at Ontario, I hope you were able to enjoy part of Saturday. It was a little bit cloudy throughout the morning hours, but then we got into some sunnier breaks, at least if you were further to the south. Throughout your Sunday, we are getting into this wet pattern. So as you can tell, we do have this upper low further to the north, as well as this low tracking from the U.S., and those are essentially going to converge together. As you can tell, combining that widespread rainfall to fill in throughout much of Ontario, into southern Quebec as well. The bulk of the rainfall, northern sections of the province, Timmins, Kapuskasing regions, picking up about 30 millimeters of rain, 10 to 15 toward those southern sections. But we have to remember that we are already dealing with some significant flooding due to that high water in Lake Ontario. Throughout the overnight hours, the risk continues for those into the northern sections of the province, also into parts of the prairies, Winnipeg, Dauphin, Brandon included in that. Heavy rainfall, strong winds. Then as we approach your Sunday, especially as that front slides through, later in the afternoon into the evening is when that thunderstorm risk becomes a little bit more widespread. Isolated severe toward southwestern sections, London, even Windsor, Sarnia areas. Heavy rainfall, strong winds, small sized hail a concern. As we head to the prairies, that risk for thunderstorms is there as well. We will take a look into your Sunday in a second, but if you are in Banff, absolutely gorgeous temperatures. Here's some ideas how to spend your weekend. All right, thank you. There you go. You have some ideas how to spend your Saturday or rather your evening into your Sunday. As we take a look into Sunday, that risk for part of the foothills becomes into the picture for thunderstorms. Essentially, we have this high sinking over parts of BC. An upsloping effect is possible. So areas like Revelstoke could see some thunderstorms. Strong winds, the main concern. Playing out those winds, they will start to ease throughout your Sunday. Coming up next is the Long Ranger. Stay with us.